Edge would successfully defend the World Heavyweight title against Alberto Del Rio at WrestleMania 27, and would do so again at Extreme Rules in Edge's Forte, a TLC match, ending their long-standing rivalry for now. However, Christian would be injured during a spot where he helped Edge by hitting a kill switch on Ricardo Rodriguez, which tore his ACL, with retirement rumors swelling over the next few months. Edge would come out on SmackDown and pay tribute to his best friend, wishing him a speedy recovery, which is when another old friend from Edge's past would make his presence known: Randy Orton. Randy saying Christian is tough and he's gonna be okay, but he's also hinting at the idea that it's been some time since he had some hardware of his own with a friend of his own. What if Rated RKO won the tag team championships again? SmackDown GM Teddy Long would waste no time making it official for that night's main event, as tag team champions the New Nexus battled Rated RKO. Just as it looked as if Edge and Orton were building momentum, it was stopped dead in its tracks. A vicious RKO to Edge, screaming "Stupid, stupid, stupid. Why, Randy, why?" It was all a ploy, as he began to dismantle the world champion, and the New Nexus got the hell out of Dodge. Orton brutalizing Edge and RKOing him through the announce table. Orton's intentions were never pure. He never wanted to be tag team champions. He saw this as a step down. The only hardware he wanted was the World Heavyweight Championship. Orton would go into Teddy Long's office the next week and demand a title shot, only for Edge to get his payback, attacking him and returning the favor. "Come on, Randy, you want to stab me in the back? The least you can do is finish the job." Orton would eventually get his shot at Over the Limit, but Edge would just about retain his title for now. Things would only continue to get more personal on the road to capital punishment, with Randy targeting Edge's family and still continuing to stalk him on his hunt for big gold. Their capital punishment match would go down in history as one of the bloodiest brawls between two bitter rivals. Edge going for the spear, countered into one final RKO on steel chairs to end the reign of the Rated R superstar. Teddy Long would unfortunately take ill and need a leave of absence. The age of Orton was back, as Orton politicked his way through the McMahons into replacing Teddy Long as the GM of SmackDown, as he refused to give Edge his rematch, instead forcing Edge to go through a gauntlet of hand-selected opponents. Edge, spear after spear, made it down to the final opponent, Orton's former legacy buddy, Cody Rhodes. Orton would come out to distract Edge, giving the young Rhodes the huge win, pushing him into the world title scene. Or so we thought. Edge would go berserk, the crazed look in the eyes. Edge was furious. He would snap on Cody Rhodes, delivering a concerto to the undashing one, sidelining Cody Rhodes and costing him his shot. To further torment Edge, Orton would announce via social media that he would be defending the title at Money in the Bank in an open challenge to anyone not named Edge. Edge would come out on the next SmackDown and say, "I won't stop taking opponents out until I get my rematch, Randy." Orton would say, "You didn't win, you lost your shot. Time for a new star to grab Orton's brass ring. Goodbye," which would lead a manic Edge to force his way into that month's Money in the Bank ladder match, taking out Justin Gabriel to gain entry and shockingly steal the briefcase, the third of Edge's career. Meanwhile, Orton's open challenge would be answered by a returning babyface Batista, who would take Orton to his limits. But then, both men were down.
"You think you know me?"
Edge would cash in mid-match to make it a triple threat and win the belt back for his 12th world title. The validity of Edge's reign would be brought into question on the following SmackDown by an enraged Orton, who hosted his own Wrestlers Court. "You didn't win that title fairly, Edge. In fact, I have every right to strip you of that title, fine you, and fire you. I'm still the real world's champion. Think about all the young talent that could have won that briefcase. Heath Slater, Wade Barrett, Sheamus, Daniel Bryan." Edge would listen to Orton for maybe a few sentences before responding with one word: spear. Only for Batista to emerge on SmackDown and hit a Batista bomb on the world champion. He too was far from done. Vince McMahon would return the following week to address the brewing situation, announcing that Teddy Long was back, so Orton's services were no longer needed. But Orton had a valid point about still being champion, so a championship unification match was made for SummerSlam. Batista Orton, and Edge. The Rated R superstar would become the undisputed world champion in another fantastic contest as the Orton saga came to an end. Edge would then drop the title to a freshly Hall of Fame Mark Henry at Night of Champions and fail to win it back at Hell in a Cell. Edge would then feud with a returning Cody Rhodes, who obviously blamed Edge for him missing months of action. Edge would captain his own Survivor Series team against Rhodes, but would come up short. Edge would then defeat Rhodes in a chairs match with another concerto at TLC to end their feud. Edge would then be assaulted by a mysterious character late in December, but return in time for the 2012 Royal Rumble, where he's low-blowed by this mysterious figure who eliminates Edge from the Rumble. Edge comes out on SmackDown to try and get answers as to who attacked him, which is when his best friend, thought to be retired, Christian, would make his triumphant return. The pair would embrace and Christian would reassure Edge that they'd find the attacker. Weirdly, during the course of this segment, Christian would keep repeating, "It's always you, Edge. I've got you." After many weeks of hijinks and classic ENC shenanigans, the two were running into constant dead ends until the remnants of the core would rear their ugly heads, trying to torment Edge by saying it was their plan all along, accusing Christian of being the mastermind behind it all. Edge obviously shook this off and said his best friend would never do such a thing, so they decided to instead shift their focus to the tag team championships held now by Gabriel and Slater, which they would earn a shot at that year's Wrestlemania in Miami. Both teams left it all out there until there was a standoff during the match, in which shockingly, Christian would indeed turn on Edge and hit him with a kill switch, revealing himself as the longtime attacker. Christian blamed Edge for his injury back at Extreme Rules, calling him a terrible friend for not feeling worse about it and moving on so fast. This would lead to the creation of a faction known as the Christian Core that would see Pete disciples pledge their undying allegiance to Christian, such as Justin Gabriel, Heath Slater, Michael McGillicuddy, Derek Bateman, and more. On Raw 1000, Christian was looking ahead to his big title match but couldn't risk Edge costing him the shot, so he would have his goons take out Edge backstage earlier in the day. The Christian Core's reign of terror would witness its first title victory as Christian captured the Intercontinental Championship, only for Edge to come back and try to fight the CC, but he was obviously outnumbered. Edge would battle against Christian's faction for the rest of the summer as he fought his way into getting the grudge match with his former buddy. "Edge, you're gonna face me at SummerSlam, you piece of shit, but you're only gonna understand the pain and torment I went through if you too get robbed of doing what you love. I'll fight you at SummerSlam, but only if you leave the WWE when I beat you." Edge would come out of the crowd to spear Christian and say, "I accept." A feud fueled by years of jealousy and hidden resentment, Christian would face Edge at SummerSlam in a loser leaves WWE match. In the ultimate final chapter between these two men, they would absolutely deliver, but in the end a kill switch would signal the end of Edge's run in WWE, at least for now. It would later be revealed behind the scenes that Edge would be taking some time off to get married to his longtime girlfriend Beth Phoenix and start a family, so he did the honors for his former best friend as he lost at SummerSlam in 2012. Edge would eventually return, but this would be the final time the WWE Universe saw Edge for a very long time, since he wanted to be there to see his daughter's early years and heal some nagging injuries.